Yo, what's poppin'? Here we are on the lake, and you know I couldn't be more excited. As you know, my life has been very busy because I've got a newborn son, and I love it. I love everything about it, but I tell you what, I don't get to fish as much as I'd like to, but today I'm stoked. I've got about 2 hours to fish, so we're gonna grab the Ultralight and we're gonna get to work. Now today I wanna specifically talk about one rig that I've been experimenting with for the last several months, and it's quickly grown on me. It's one of my favorite rigs now, honestly, it really is. And all it is a double jig rig, but I tell you what, I think most people when they think about a double jig rig, they think like crappie fishing with like, you know, 1/8 ounce to 1/4 ounce jigs, and they're kind of vertically jigging. I fish it a little bit different, and I'll kind of show that throughout the video, but you know, this has just been a fun rig to play with, so I'm excited to keep learning more about it. But all in all, I just wanted to show it to y'all because I really think that if you like ultralight fishing, you've got to try this rig out. The other thing is I will show you how to tie this at the end of the video. I've experimented with a couple knots, but I've found one that I personally like, so stay tuned to the very end of this video if you want to learn how to tie it. But for now, let's catch some fish, let's have a good time, let's get to it. All right, so like I said, I've experimented with this rig for quite some time now, and I've used several different baits, but today I'm going to be using the new Mule Fishing horsefly. I've got a white horsefly on top and a black horsefly on the bottom, and I'm actually throwing these on 1/80th ounce mule jigs. And that is actually one of the big reasons why I fish this different than a lot of anglers. Traditionally, a lot of people are crappie fishermen that use the double jig rig. This one happened to eat the top jig actually, so he liked the white. Traditionally, a lot of anglers that use the double jig rig are chasing crappie, and a lot of times they like that, you know, 1/8 ounce jig, 1/4 ounce jig, just a little perch, nothing giant, but nice little healthy fish. See you, buddy. Obviously, I'm using much smaller jigs here. And part of the reason I really like using these lighter jigs is because it allows me to fish both horizontally and vertically successfully, but at the same time, it gives me the opportunity to still get a really slow rate of fall. Anyways, the other thing that I really like about this rig is that it allows you to experiment with color. And then the big reason why I like this rig is because it gives you the opportunity to kind of mimic a school of bait fish or just a lot of forage in general. The thing about sport fish in general is the fact that they're going to prefer feeding in areas where there's a lot of forage present. I guess the point is that mimicking schooling bait fish is something that I don't get a lot of opportunities to do with ultralight equipment. And so when I started playing around with this rig, I realized pretty quickly that it has a lot of drawing power, because when those jigs are darting back and forth, regardless of what plastic you use, it really creates this situation where it looks like a bunch of bait fish are in one area. Even though there's only 2 of them, when they're twitching back and forth, it actually looks like even more than 2. And then one of the other reasons, oh my, what the heck? Are you kidding me? What happened? I think my line might have been frayed somehow, so what can you do? I guess this is a good opportunity to kind of show you how I rig it. Again, I'm going to show you a better video of this at the end, but essentially you put the line through your first jig, and then you just double it over, and then you actually just create like an overhand situation like that. There's a loop. Now you just grab that jig and go through it 3 times. There we go, 3. Now I'm gonna try to keep that loop relatively small. I'm gonna kind of move it down towards the jig. I'm gonna wet it. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten it down, and it's gonna create this little loop knot. Now I actually watched a lot of videos trying to learn how to tie the best knot, and I've found a lot of knots that are, you know, look interesting, but I actually found this one on my buddy John Dalton's channel, Creek Fishing Adventures, and I just really liked it. It's really easy to tie, and I like the fact that it puts that jig just a little bit away from the line. I might find another knot that I like better, but that one's been pretty solid. And then the bottom jig is simple. All you got to do is your favorite knot. For me, I like a polymer knot, you know, I like a loop knot, but this time I'm just going to go ahead with a polymer knot just because it's easy. I'm definitely bummed that I broke off a fish. I have a feeling I had a weak point in my line, and I don't know what happened there. This 2-pound test is actually getting kind of old. I should probably re-spool this reel. I'm annoyed that that happened, but hey, it was a good opportunity to show you how to rig this little setup. Let's try that again. I'm gonna loosen my drag up. It's gonna sound like my drag is extremely loose, but that's just because I'm a little nervous that this line is a little weak. Oh my gosh, how? Are you kidding me? I always catch dinky fish, but this one's just like way more impressive. This is just incredible. Incredible. Look at that. Look at that. Put that in perspective. Look at him next to my nose. Tiny fish. Well, I'll tell you what, the double jig rig catches everything. I have no idea how I hooked that fish. Just straight up impressive. Dink master strikes again. There he is. Oh gosh. What is this? Little another yellow perch. This time it was on the bottom jig. Similar size to the last one. This one ate the black horsefly on that 1/80th ounce fire red jig. So as of right now, I'm not sure we have necessarily determined if color makes a difference, but I tell you what, it's another fish. And I think one of the other things I really like about this rig is the fact that it's pretty versatile as far as how you can fish it. You can vertically jig it, you can just kind of drift it, you can twitch it really fast like this to make it look like a couple of bait fish getting away. Honestly, possibilities are endless, and I'm a huge fan of that. There's another one. What's this? What is this? This feels like maybe a bluegill. I'm gonna guess this is a bluegill. It is a bluegill, just a little guy. Nothing too big, but it's promising nonetheless. Another fish, and another fish on the black color. I'll tell you what, I definitely catch more fish on the bottom jig usually, and I think that's just because it's probably closer to their face kind of deal. But it'll be interesting to see if we can catch some more on the top one today. I would say probably 90+% of the fish I've caught on the double jig rig have come on the bottom jig so far. You know, one thing that I haven't done on this rig yet is catch 2 fish on one cast. I know it's a possibility. I've only caught 2 fish on one cast like one time, and it was on a jerk bait. And I did that, I think, like last fall. So I would love to catch 2 fish on this bait right here. That's a little dinky bluegill, I believe. That is a little dinky bluegill. There it is, on the top jig. Awesome. I'll tell you what, we've caught a couple on the top jig and I think 3 on the bottom. So good to know, good to know. They will eat either flavor. You know the other thing I'm thinking about? The fact that I am exhausted right now, because, you know, you're perpetually exhausted. Is that the right word? I don't know. When you become a parent, you will learn what it's like to be exhausted at all times. And I have learned that. And I have just caught a tiny bluegill, again on the top jig. I think we're even Steven right now. We've got just as many fish on the top jig as we have the bottom. This is new to me. Usually I always catch them on the bottom, so this is cool. I'm glad we're catching them on both. Oh, there's a fish. Ah! Catch up, catch up, catch up. Oh gosh, what is this, a tiny bass? Look at this, guys. I have not proven that this rig will catch you big fish today, but I have proven that it'll catch you numerous species, so I guess that's good. This one also ate the top jig. This is interesting. This is actually the most action I've got on the top jig ever. So maybe they really like that white color. I'm not sure. There's probably something to the white color. It probably pops a little bit more than the black one down there. It's 2 fish. Oh, I missed him. This is definitely one of the things that I forgot about with paddle kayak fishing. You're always messing with your paddle, so you don't get as many good hook sets. The pedal drive kayak is a lot easier to get a good hook set on. There we go. This is better. This is either a little bass or it's like a nice bluegill. I feel like it's a little bass. It's probably a little bass. No, decent bluegill. You know what? It's not all that big. He just fought like a daggum freight train, man. And again, on that top jig, I think they like the white. Nice to know. That fish is super pretty. I just got to get a photo just because he's so pretty. I know I do that a lot, but I like fish photos, okay? What can I say? I mean, just look at him. Just so pretty. 25 and wasting time. Ain't never been outside of this county line. What's this? I like landed this on top of a fish. It's not a small fish. I don't know what it is. Now remember, I loosened my drag earlier because I'm nervous that I've got weakened line. And it's just a little bluegill. But he fought pretty good. Ah! Oh gosh, no, no, stop it, stop it. Don't be like this. Okay, stop it. Okay, my paddle's running away, my fish is running away. That was just a mess. Oh, what the heck? All right, there's a school of dinky bluegill here. This one just totally choked the black color, so interesting enough. Okay, stop that. They are so wriggly, guys. What is with these wriggly fish? Oh, snap, something's swimming right there. I can literally see it boiling on the surface. Eat it. Oh my gosh. No! I just didn't have a good angle and I didn't get a hook set on that. I think that must have been a bass swimming up in the shallows. Man, that bite rattled all the way down my line. I just felt doink. It's my best bluegill yet, I think. Similar to the other ones, but maybe just a little bigger. Man, kind of a pretty little bluegill right there. He's kind of pale, but he's kind of got an interesting look to him. I would classify this color as a nice, you know, light peach, I would say. You know, it's a nice light peach. See you, buddy. Okay, I tell you what, I haven't really caught any big fish today, but I have at least caught numerous fish and numerous species, so that's good. The double jig rig is super fun to fish with, and what's been kind of cool today is just monitoring which one gets bit more. And surprisingly enough, the top jig has been getting bit more, so I think that something about this white, the fact that it pops down there, I don't know. The fish clearly like it. So if I was a smart man, I would probably just go ahead and switch the bottom one to white, but I'm not going to because I'm not smart. And I'm also lazy. So I don't think I have a ton more time to fish, so I'm gonna keep moving and grooving, seeing what happens. Fingers crossed we can catch like a big old bluegill or a big perch or something. No matter what we catch, I'm just thankful to be out here, man. These days I don't fish as much as, you know, I'd love to, but hey, I tell you what, every time I get a chance to, it truly is a blessing, and it really puts me in a good state of mind. The other thing that puts me in a good state of mind is the fact that I'm eating pizza tonight, folks. Pizza. Okay. Another fish, another taker of the white horsefly. Guys, this is so interesting to me. This is fun. I feel like I need to start making fishing videos where I do the double jig rig and the whole thing is testing colors. That could be fun. Could be a fun little mini series, catching dinky perch and testing colors. I mean, clearly, if we're gonna learn something from this, it's that color can clearly make a difference. Dadgummit. Why did I miss that fish? Probably because it was a dinky bluegill. What the heck? My drag must have slipped. Dadgummit. I thought that was a giant when I set the hook. Yeah, it's still a fish, so I'm not gonna complain, but dadgum, I was like, all right, got the world record. But no, my drag, I must have accidentally bumped it. Little sunfish. It almost looks like a hybrid. I think it's just a bluegill though. I don't think there's really any other sunfish in here besides bluegill. Golly, some of these bluegill have got some serious fight in them. Not a big fish, not a small fish. I mean, yeah, kind of a small fish, but man, he torqued that thing and he really wanted that. He liked that horsefly. God, they really like the white color. I know I've said it about every fish, but I'm just seriously surprised. I really thought that the bottom jig was gonna catch me more fish. What is this? Feels small. That is small. Caught a lot of fish today. Again on the white. There you go, buddy. Okay, I tell you what, I had a good time on the water, despite the fact that I didn't catch any big fish today. Hopefully you got a feel for the double jig rig and why it is a great rig for ultralight fishermen. I can guarantee you this, I am going to be fishing with it more in the future, and you can stay tuned for that. I guarantee you I will catch more and bigger fish. I'm not just going to catch little 4-inch bluegill, I promise you, okay? Cut me some slack. I don't have a lot of time to fish these days, okay? Honestly, it was a relatively productive time for only a couple of hours. Also, if you want to watch how to tie this rig, I will do that right now. The double jig rig is actually really easy to tie. All you gotta do is you need 2 jigs, obviously, and then you're just gonna put your line through your first jig. You then double the line back over and you just simply form a loop. Once you have that loop, it's pretty darn simple. All you gotta do is feed that jig back through the loop. And I would say 3 times. And then once you have it through there 3 times, you just want to keep that loop somewhat tight to the jig and then just pull it down. You're going to form a little loop knot by doing this. And then you're going to have a long tag end on the opposite side. And at that point, you just tighten this knot down, as you can see here. And you can see that there's a little bit of a loop knot that sticks out a little bit. I actually like that. And then after that, you can just tie whatever knot you want to your bottom jig. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I tied a polymer knot just because that's one of my favorite knots. You could obviously tie, you know, fisherman's knot, whatever you want to call it. You can tie a loop knot, whatever works best for you. The bottom jig doesn't necessarily matter. It's that top jig that is the money maker that makes this rig so cool. Then you just snip off your tag end and you are set up and ready to rock and roll. Good luck out there.